girls, a very good evening and welcome to this live session on Quantitative Aptitude brought to you exclusively by TalentSprint. I hope all of you are in the pink of your health and so is your preparation for the various IT Jobs Aptitude Tests that you are looking for, right? Well, I'm sure the year 2017 will bring in a lot of opportunities for you, and like you all know, the three different stages of any IT job recruitment are aptitude test. The first stage, like you all know, is an aptitude test followed by a technical interview, and which is then followed by a HR interview, right? Usually this is the process. Well, it may be a little bit of plus and minus here and there depending on the company that you are trying for, but largely, like I said, this is the process. And the very first stage that you all know is the aptitude round, right, where you are usually asked to take an aptitude test which includes subject like quantitative aptitude, reasoning aptitude, and the verbal aptitude. Okay, now one problem that we have seen across many students out there is that they are very strong in the technical domain, right? They are very strong in coding skills, right? But unfortunately, they cannot even showcase their technical ability or their technical competency to the interviewer just because they have failed in the aptitude round itself. So I think it is very important for each one of you to prepare really well to make sure that you clear the first round, the first hurdle, and get to showcase your technical ability, right? And I hope that all of you are working sincerely towards cracking these IT jobs aptitude tests with ease. And such live sessions brought to you by TalentSprint definitely adds value to your preparation. Now, in today's session, we are going to discuss about quantitative aptitude, right, which is a very important part in these aptitude exams, right? Any aptitude-based exam for that matter. Now, there are like different modules which come under this subject, right? Starting with numerical ability, then we have arithmetic ability, then data interpretation analysis, and some simple mathematics topics like mensuration, permutations and combinations, probability, right? Some of the companies also test your ability in geometry, trigonometry, etc. So I think these are the different sections or subsections that you are tested on when it comes to the quantitative aptitude part of your exam. Okay, the primary focus is on arithmetic ability, which includes topics like percentages, profit and loss, simple and compound interest, time and work, time and distance, right, ratio and proportions, and then we have partnerships, ages, right, average, and other such topics. Okay, so easy to crack in my view, provided you know the right way to solve the question, right? And more importantly, if you are strong in your numerical skills, right? The one thing that I've realized in my experience of training so many students for different aptitude based exams is that it is not the shortcuts that that hold you back. I mean, most of us run behind the shortcut formula, right? If I ask you what is that one thing needed to score more in quantitative aptitude, I'm sure a major response that would come up is shortcut formula. We need to know shortcut formula. We should know the techniques and things like that to score more, which is correct, right? I don't deny that. But then primarily, the one major reason why most of the students are unable to score more, are not able to score more in this section, is because of their poor calculation ability. And the bigger problem is that we don't even realize that we are not so strong in calculations, right? Understand, guys, this section, quantitative aptitude, is full of numbers. Every question that you see here has got some numbers involved in it, right? Be it from arithmetic ability or numerical ability or data interpretation, right? Any shortcut formula that you use has to be used along with numbers, right? You have to do some simplification to arrive at the final answer. And that simplification part is where most of us end up wasting a lot of time. And like I said, we don't even realize that we are wasting our time there. Okay, all we look for is the different shortcut formulae, which are important, right? I don't say that shortcuts are not needed. You need to know the shortcut formulae and the smart methods of solving questions. But if you're not so strong in calculations, then these are of no use. The shortcut formulae will not solve the purpose. Okay, so my advice to all of you preparing for these aptitude tests, right, is to spend at least 45 minutes to 60 minutes per day on your numerical ability, all right, on your calculation skills. If you can do those simple calculations faster without putting pen on paper, only then I can assure you that you'll be able to get a good score. You may clear the cutoff score, go to the next round, all that is fine. But if you are looking for boosting your score, then you have to work on your calculations. Okay, things as simple as 43 into 21 are done on paper. I'm sure most of you will concur with me on this, right? 43 into 21 we end up doing on paper because we have never tried it doing mentally, and we think, yes, 43 into 2 121 on paper using that conventional method is the best way to solve and get the answer, but it's not, right? 43 into 21 is what? 860 plus 43, 903 is the answer. And because I'm speaking out, it is taking so much of time. If you do it yourself mentally, you'll get the answer much faster. So the point that I'm trying to make is, the more you put pen on paper, the more time it takes. Okay, paperwork has to be avoided to the extent possible. And most of the times we put pen on paper when we are doing calculations. So overall, I think to summarize, I would say work on your calculations, right? And you'll find me repeating this statement a number of times during my session today, and in any session that you see on quantitative aptitude which I take, right? Because I totally believe that calculations is the key, right? So start working on that, and do it for just 21 days. I mean, 45 minutes per day is what I have already mentioned. Just do it for like 3 weeks of time, and you'll find a great difference. You'll feel the difference, right? You'll feel the difference there. So I think with that as the objective, let's get into the session. What we are going to do today is not focused on calculations. You can do it yourself. We have a lot of speed math videos available, right? If you look at the TalentSprint's library of videos for all these subjects, quantitative aptitude, reasoning aptitude, and verbal aptitude, you'll find, I'm sure you'll find about 720 videos available, right? And around 16 to 18 of these videos are only on speed maths, where we have discussed various techniques and shortcuts of doing calculations relevant for your exam. I mean, that way speed maths is like a vast area, right? There are like thousands of techniques available out there, but what is relevant for you to score more in the exam is what has been discussed through these videos. So I would suggest all of you to go through these videos available in our video library and keep practicing on those techniques. Okay, and then there are videos on all the other topics as well. Okay, so that is one thing that I leave to you. Today we will be looking at some questions from the section of quantitative aptitude. Now these questions have been chosen from some of the papers or aptitude tests conducted by some top IT companies. I would not take the name of those companies here, but yes, these are actually picked up from the papers or the tests conducted by some of the top IT companies. So I'll present the questions to you all, right? Present the questions one after the other. Simple arithmetic based questions, but like I said, what matters is not getting the right answer, but how quickly do you get the right answer, right? Because time management is the key, right? I'm sure if these question papers are handed over to all of us, and if we are given, let's say, a day's time to solve, all of us will get 100% marks, right? We'll score 100% marks. But how many of us are able to score the maximum possible in that limited time is the key. Okay, so I'll present the questions to you one after the other and give you some appropriate time to try it out, and then discuss the smart way of solving the question. Okay, so shall we start? Let me see if there are any comments which I have to look at before we get into discussing the questions. I can see a lot of you have joined the session. Some of the names that I see on the chat now are Anand Khatri, then we have Mahesh, Nithi, Rajkumar, Samuel, right, Murli, Syed, and many others there, right? So thank you all for joining us in this session. I can see some of you have also answered the question, right? What was that? 43 into 21, right? 903. But then there's someone who says 883 is the answer. 883 is not the answer. It's 903. Okay, so looks like there are no general queries that I have to address. Let's quickly get into solving these questions. So let me share my screen now with the first question, and let's see how many of you get it right. So here we go. So here's the first question. Look at this. What does it say? Several liters of acid were drawn off from a 54-liter vessel full of acid, and an equal amount of water is added. Again, the same volume of mixture was drawn off and replaced by water. As a result, the vessel contained 24 liters of pure acid. How much acid was drawn off initially? Now that's an interesting one, right? And look at the options: 12 liters, 16 liters, 18 liters, and 24 liters. So trust all of you have understood the question there, right? There is a vessel which is full of acid and the quantity is 54 liters. Now from this 54 liters of acid, we have drawn off some quantity, right? We have removed some quantity of acid and replaced an equal amount of water. Replace that with an equal amount of water. Again, the same volume of mixture was drawn, right? Understand that in this case, once you have removed the acid and added water, the pure acid now becomes a mixture. What we have in the vessel now is a mixture of acid and water. And from this mixture, we have removed the same volume of mixture that was removed earlier, right? The quantity of acid that was removed earlier, same quantity is being removed again and replaced by water once again. So it's like the step is repeated, right? Is done twice, right? And as a result, when you look at the vessel, it has 24 liters of pure acid. So 24 liters is pure acid and remaining is water. So how much acid was drawn off initially is the question. How much acid was drawn off initially? You must be aware that this question is from a topic called alligations and mixtures, and a very popular type. You'll find such questions in many aptitude based tests. So I'll give you about a minute to try this out. It wouldn't take more than 20-25 seconds in the exam, but since you're interacting digitally, I'll give you a little more time. 1 minute is what you have and your time starts now. I can see some questions coming in here the comment is from Murali, right? Murali's query is that, is tick and cross method the way to solve syllogisms in aptitude tests? Please answer this or please clear my doubt. Well, Murali, I would not suggest the tick and cross method to solve syllogisms in any test for that matter, right? Syllogisms, by the way, is a very, very important topic from the reasoning ability section, right? And in my view, a true test of your reasoning skills, right? Those who all are strong in syllogisms are actually very good in their reasoning, right? Reasoning skills. So is tick and cross the method? Well, no, that's not the best way to solve such questions, right? Again, if you go back to the TalentSprint's library of videos, syllogism, again, we have a video which runs for 2 hours and 40 minutes. Not one video, they're like multiple videos. The total time is about 2 hours and 40 minutes. And you will see that the method which we use is Venn diagrams, right? In my view, Venn diagrams is the best way to solve questions from syllogisms. It may appear to be lengthy initially, but once you get used to it, solving questions using Venn diagrams would be a cakewalk, right? So just use that. Now look at the answers that I've got. Jilani Sayed has got 18 as the answer. We have Sheikh, Apil Sheikh, who has got 24. Naveen Kumar has got 18 again. Samuel says it is 16. So a mixed response. I've got 3 different answers already. 18, 24 and 16. I shall wait for a few more seconds before we look at the solution. Anybody else? Okay, we have Samuel here who says, please teach us calendar problems also. Well, Samuel, let me mention that we have a topic called calendar in our, aptitude, quantitative aptitude course of TalentSprint's program. You can explore that program and, get to watch all those videos that we have done on calendars. For the session today, I don't think I'll be able to take up anything on calendars because we have not planned for it, right? But don't worry, we can take up a few questions when we meet next time. Or if you are not interested to wait, just go check out our programs for your IT Jobs Aptitude Test, right? You'll find all the videos, all the 700 plus videos that I talked about right there in your account, which you can access 24/7, anytime, anywhere, okay? Right, more answers here. Deepa has got 18, Manjunath has got 24, Rajkumar has got 16, Mahesh has got 18. So this clearly shows that you're not, thorough with the process, right? Looks like I've got 3 different answers in equal proportions, right? 33% of you have got 18 liters. The other 33% has got 24 liters. And the last part there has got 16 liters. Okay, so time now to take it up. I'm sure you guys are also getting a little impatient with the waiting for the solution now. So let's look at this. What does it say? Several liters, so some X liters or some quantity of acid were drawn off from a 54 liter vessel full of acid and an equal amount of water is added. and an equal amount of water is added. Again, the same volume of mixture was drawn off and replaced by water. As a result, the vessel contained 24 liters of pure acid. How much acid was drawn off initially? So if you see, let's say this is the vessel, and you can see that the quantity of this vessel is 54 liters, right? This vessel can accommodate 54 liters of some solution, right? Be it pure acid or pure water or acid and water. All right. Now, initially it was full of acid. This vessel was full of acid, right? It was completely filled with acid. What did we do? We have removed some quantity of acid. It was drawn off, right? So some quantity of acid has been removed. Acid removed, and the same volume, which means the same quantity of water was added, right? Equal amount of water is added. So if you have removed, let's say, X liters of acid and X liters of water was added. X liters of water was added. If X acid is removed, X water was added. Now you know that after you have removed acid and added water, it'll become a mixture. Earlier it was only acid, pure acid. Now it is a mixture of acid and water. Now from this mixture, we repeat the step. What do? We remove the same volume of mixture. So in the second step, let me use a different color to explain the second step here. In the second step, we'll remove X mixture, X of mixture. Right, now it has become a mixture, right? A mixture of acid and water. And you have added again same quantity of water. You have replaced that with water, right? How much of water? X of water, X of water. You don't have to do all this drama in the exam, drawing a vessel and all that. I'm just trying to explain you the problem, right? Now, as a result, finally, when you see the vessel has 24 liters of pure acid, right? After having done all this, we'll have only 24 liters of pure acid. So, in this vessel, there will be only 24 liters of acid. And remaining 30 liters we can say is water, because total quantity is 54 liters. See, at no point was the quantity disturbed. If you have removed X liters of acid, X liters of water was added. If you have removed X liters of mixture, X liters of water was added. So, the total quantity remains 54 liters throughout. Right? Finally, there is only 24 liters of pure acid. So, if 24 liters is pure acid, how much is water? Only 30 liters is water. So, 24 and 30 is the combination. So, 24 liters and 30 liters. Now, you can, what do we have to find out? How much of acid was drawn initially? So, basically this X is what we need to find out. How much of acid was drawn off initially. Now, you can use a conventional method where we'll say total quantity is 54 liters. From that, X liters of acid is removed, X liters of water is added. Again, on that new quantity. See, if you have removed X liters of acid, how much of acid is remaining? 54 minus X. And how much of water is there? X. From this 54 minus X acid and X water, again you are removing X liters of mixture. So you know that the ratio of acid to water is 54 minus X is to X. And all that has to be done conventionally to get the answer. But then there is a smart way of solving this question, right? There's one simple equation that you need to remember. And we have discussed this equation in our videos as well. This is, in fact, model number 3 from alligations and mixtures. Model 3 from this topic of alligations and mixtures, right? Where we have covered such questions. So the basic equation that you need to remember here is final quantity of, I'll use final quantity of acid because we are talking about acid here. Final quantity of acid will be equal to initial quantity into 1 minus removed quantity. I'm not using any variables here. I'm just using the terms properly so that it's easy for you to follow, right? By initial quantity whole to the power of n, right? Just remember this equation here. Very, very important. If you can remember this, you can solve questions based on this model, right? Which model? Model 3 of alligations and mixtures without any difficulty, right? What does it say? Final quantity of acid. The final quantity of acid is equal to the initial quantity of acid again, into 1 minus the quantity that I have removed in each step, divided by initial quantity whole to the power of n. Now what is n here? N here is the number of operations. The number of operations that you do, right? Let me just, for the lack of space, I am writing it here. N is the number of operations. How many operations have been done here? 2 operations. That removal and, removal and replacement. That's an operation, right? This is actually called a removal and replacement problem, right? Model 3 of alligations and mixtures. So the number of operations in this case would be 2. We have done that operation twice. Now just substitute the values and you're through. Okay. Now it can be acid or water or milk or sugar or whatever it is, right? Just remember, final quantity is equal to initial quantity into 1 minus removed quantity by initial quantity whole power n, right? This I put in brackets of acid or whatever. Now substitute the values. What's the final quantity of acid? It says 24 liters. So 24 equals to, what is the initial quantity? Initial quantity was 54 liters. 24 equals to 54 into 1 minus, say, removed quantity. Now that's what we have to work on, right? How much of acid was drawn off initially? Let's assume we have removed X, right? X of acid was removed, right? X liters of acid divided by initial quantity, 54 whole to the power of 2. Solve this for X and you get your answer. So just one step, what you have to be, remember the formula. Now simplify this, what do we get? This is like 6 into 4 and 6 into 9, right? So 4 by 9. So I can say 4 by 9 equals to 1 minus X by 54 whole square. Now let me take square root on both the sides, right? Let me take the square root on both left hand side and right hand side. So what do we have? We get, see, you can cut down the number of steps. You need not write this intermediate step here, but just for the sake of clear explanation, I'm putting it up, right? Like I've mentioned in the beginning, cut down the number of steps that you put on paper. So when you do it yourself, you should avoid writing all the steps. So if I take square root on both the sides, what do we get? Square root of 4 is 2, square root of 9 is 3. So 2 by 3 equals to 1 minus X by 54. So clearly from this, X by 54 equals to 1 by 3, because 1 minus 1 by 3 is 2 by 3. Right? 1 minus 1 by 3 is 2 by 3. So X by 54 equals to 1 by 3. If X by 54 is 1 by 3, what is X? X will be equal to 54 by 3, which is 18 liters. So your answer to this question has to be option C, 18 liters. Option C, 18 liters. You're getting it? So you do not go by the length of the explanation or the number of words or variables that we have put on paper. All this is explanation. I was not solving the question. I was explaining it to you, right? If I have to solve it myself, the only step that I have to put on paper is this. Don't even write the formula, right? Start from this step onwards. 24 by 54 equals to 1 minus X by 54 whole square, right? And then cut down the intermediate steps as well. So 18 liters will be the answer to this question, and I think that would take about 20-25 seconds in the exam, right? Just remember this very important formula. I mean, that's the only formula that you have to remember when it comes to alligations and mixtures. Final quantity equals to initial quantity into 1 minus the removed quantity by initial quantity whole to the power of n. Let me come back to the video and see if there are any queries there. So all those who have got 18 as the answer are correct. Option C. Now I don't know how did you guys get 24 or 16 as the answer there. We have Deepa here. Deepa says, please tell about trains problem 2. Well, I can only take up these requests now and plan for such questions in our next session. But like I've mentioned, Deepa, you don't have to wait for the next session, right? Explore about our programs. You can visit talentsprint.com/IT, talentsprint.com/IT to get all the details about our programs and see if you would like to explore it. Chalo, any comments or we good to go for the next one? Akash and Samuel have got 18 liters as answer, right? The last two responses that I see. 18 is correct. Shall we go for the next one? Any confusions, any queries? Well, this model 3, this is a basic question from model 3. I mean, basic meaning, of course, model 3 is one of the most complex ones when it comes to alligations and mixtures. But within model 3, I think this is the starting level, right? The questions can get even more complex. But the fundamental formula is the same. Final equals to initial into 1 minus removed by initial whole to the power of n. Alright, yeah, I've got a few confirmations there. I can go to the next one now. So let me share the screen again and present the next question to you all. Here we go. Here's the next question. Interesting one. Try this out. See what it says. Fresh fruits contains 72% water and dry fruit contains 20% water. How much dry fruit from 100 kg of fresh fruit can be obtained? So it says fresh fruit contains 72% water and dried fruit contains 20% water. So how much of dry fruit can be obtained from 100 kg of fresh fruit? Options are there on your screens. 35 kgs, 32 kgs, 27 kgs or 22 kgs. Try this out. You have like 45 seconds for this, right? No need to use any formula or anything there. I mean, just basic understanding of what the question says in terms of percentages will help you get the answer. Well, you're taking too long, guys. Let me tell you that you don't have so much of time in your exam. So you have to be quick And here we get the first couple of answers, right? Deepa has got 27 kgs, which is option C. But then we have Jilani Sayed who says it should be 35 kgs, option A. So I think only 2 responses as of now and 2 different answers. So I would like to wait for a few more answers here, right? Mahesh has got 35 kgs, right? So I think a majority of you think it should be option A, 35 kgs. How many of you are struck? How many of you think, you cannot solve it? I'm sure some of you have given up already, right? 27 kgs or 35 kgs or cannot solve. Anybody? Right, Naveen Kumar. There's a problem. Naveen has got 27 kgs as the answer. So which means we've got a 50-50 divide between 27 and 35, right? Half of you believe it should be 35 kgs and the other half thinks it should be 27 kgs. So we don't come to a conclusion with this, right? But then Rajkumar has got 35. Anyways, guys, you have taken too much of time to get whatever answer you've got, right? 27 or 35 is secondary, but then it's taking too long for you, right? And see, the 6th response is from Subhaya, who has got 27. So I think total 6 responses, 3 of you have got 35 and the other 3 have got 27. Anybody who's given up, I'm sure a lot of you are not able to solve it. So would you please comment there in the chat box that you have no idea, you cannot solve it or anything like that? Because I would like to know how many of you are getting stuck in which of these questions. Right, Nikhila is the first one. Nikhila says, I can't solve it. I have no clue. Right? Who else? Okay, 5 more seconds and then we'll start looking at the solution. Okay, so I think time is up. Not many responses, which means most of you are unable to solve it. And all those who have responded have also got a variety of answers here. So look at this. What does it say? Fresh fruits contain 72% water and dry fruit contains 20% water. How much dry fruit from 100 kg of fresh fruit can be obtained? So basically it says if the fruits are fresh, it will have 72% water, right? But if the fruit is dried, it will have only 20% water, right? So if you see a fresh fruit has got how much of fruit, real fruit? 28%. And how much of water? 72% water. You're getting it? We are looking at the divide between pulp and the water, right? How much of pulp is there? 28%. And 72% is water. Whereas in dry fruit or dried fruit to be specific, how much is water? 20% is water, which means 80% is pulp. 80% is pulp. 80% is fruit. So basically if you see the percentage of water is changing. Yes, 72% water. Let me just mention fruit and water here. Similarly, fruit and water here. So if you observe from one fruit to the other, when the transformation takes place, what happens? The percentages are of course changing. 28% fruit has become 80% fruit, 72% water has become 20% water. But what remains constant, what remains same? The quantity of fruit remains same. Remember, the percentage will change in both fruit and water. The water quantity will also change, right? Basically what happens in a fresh fruit, when the water is extracted, when the water gets, let's say, dried up, the fruit dries, right? And that makes the dried fruit. So the quantity of water is also changing. But what remains same in absolute terms? The quantity of fruit. Remember these two, 28% of fruit here in fresh fruit and 80% of fruit in the dried fruit represents the same quantity, right? The same quantity. You're able to follow? That's it. Just focus on that. All you have to look at is the quantity of fruit. That's it. Whatever is the quantity of fruit, the pulp will not get lost, right? What will get lost is only the water. So just work based on the quantity of pulp. Now it says how much of dry fruit can be obtained from 100 kg of fresh fruit. Understand, if there is 100 kg of fresh fruit, how much is pulp in this? See, 28% is pulp, which is 28 kgs. Right? 28 kg is the pulp, the core of the fruit there. Now the same 28 kg will be available in the dried fruit as well. Right or not? The quantity of pulp will not change. So can I say this 28 kg is equivalent to 80% of the fruit? Yes or no? Because when the fruit is dried, the pulp concentration is 80%. So 28 is equivalent to 80%. What are we looking at? How much of dry fruit can be obtained? See, 80% of dried fruit is 28 kgs. 100% of dried fruit is equal to what is the question? Done. You got the answer. You're able to follow. 80% of that dried fruit is 28 kgs. What is 100% of that dried fruit? Cross multiply. These will be proportional, right? These values will be proportional. So just cross multiply and you'll get the answer. So answer to this question would be 100 into 28 upon 80. So it's like 5 times and 4 times. 28 by 4 is 7. 7 5s is 35. So 35 kg, option A would be the answer. And let me tell you, the only step that you put on paper when you solve this question is this. Or if you are smart in calculation, you can directly mark 35 kg as the answer without putting it on paper. Do not write all this, right? This is only for the sake of explanation. Don't even write this 100 kg, 28%, 28 kg and all that. Right? All that is a waste of time. So only put what is really needed on the paper and then work on those numbers. Okay? Let us see how many of you have followed this. So Nicola, is it clear now? Nicola had mentioned that she was unable to solve it, but I hope you have got it now, right? 35 kg is the answer. So Rajkumar, Mahesh and Jilani, these three have got the correct answer, whereas Subhaya, Naveen Kumar and Deepa, you're wrong, right? 27 is not the answer. So what did you do to get 27, right? What did you do? How can you come at the number 27? Chalo, can we go for the next one? Yeah, I think we have very limited time. So let's quickly move to the next one. I hope all of you have followed. Yeah. And Nicola has just confirmed that she has followed this and ready to go for the next one. So let me share the screen again. And here we go. So the next question on your screens now. Now this is from ages, a very important topic when it comes to aptitude tests conducted by IT companies, right? See what it says. If Dennis is 1/3 the age of his father Kate now and was 1/4 the age of his father 5 years ago, then how old will his father Kate be 5 years from now? Try this out. Very interesting question. I'm sure most of you will be able to crack this, right? Quick. You have just about 45 seconds for this one. Let us see how many of you get the answer. Dennis is 1/3 the age of his father Kate now, and he was 1/4 the age of his father 5 years ago. So how old will his father be? How old will his father? His father is Kate here, right? How old will his father be 5 years from now, right? 5 years from now. Kate is the name of the father, right? How old will his father be? Well, Deepa has mentioned that I took water content as consideration rather than fruit. Well, Deepa, the common sense is that water is what is getting lost, right? The fruit will not get lost. Okay, Jilani is the first one to respond. He's got 50 as the answer. Rupa has got 45. That's quick, but then again, two different answers. Waiting for a few more responses before we look at the solution. Is it 50 or 45? Got it? Okay, Teja has got 45. So two of you have got 45. Nikhila has also got 45. Deepa has got 45. Good. So a clear majority here is for option A, 45 years. Only Syed has got 50 as the answer. 50. Okay. Well, looks like this was an easy one, right? Easy nut to crack because I see a lot of responses and a lot of new names coming up, right? Rahul Shauri has got 45. Mohammad Jamsheed has also got the answer. He says it should be 50. So Teja, Rahul, Jamsheed. Then we have Sinduri. All these are new names, right? Rupa. But then you guys are divided, right? For 45 or 50? What's the answer? Mahesh has also got 50. We have Raghuma who's got 45. So a lot of confusion there, huh? Clearly 40 and 55 are not the choices. It's either option A, 45 years, or option D, 50 years. And we have one Avara Turkey here who's got 45. Interesting to see that you're preparing for an exam, huh? Being an Avara Turkey. Then we have Naveen Kumar and Sayam who've got 45. Siri Chandana has also got 45. Good. So I think enough of responses now and enough of confusion because you guys are not on the same page, right? Half of you say it's 45 years, the other half say it should be 50 years. Let's take it up. And I'm sure after I give you the solution and then after I give you a smart solution, all of you will be like, oh, I should have got this. This is very simple. While you guys have taken about, let's say 15-20 seconds, I would say the ones who have got the answer the fastest have spent about 15 to 20 seconds, right? I don't remember the names, but the first couple of responses were after 15-20 seconds of presenting the question. And let me tell you, that's too long a time to answer this one. Because if you use the smart method, if you use a smart idea, you will be able to crack this in about, what, 5 seconds or maybe 8 seconds, not more than that. So let's see, how do we do this? Now, if Dennis is 1/3 the age of his father, Keith, now, and was 1/4 the age of his father 5 years ago, then how old will his father be 5 years from now? So we are talking about two persons here, Dennis and Keith. Let us assume their present ages are D and K respectively. Dennis' present age is D and Keith's present age is K. Now the first statement says Dennis is 1/3 the age of his father now, which means their present ages are in what ratio? 1:3 ratio. Dennis is 1/3 the age of his father. So can I say D equals to K by 3? Yes, D equals to K by 3. Then Dennis was 1/4 the age of his father 5 years ago. See, their present ages are D and K. So what will be their ages 5 years ago? D minus 5 and K minus 5. So if you go back 5 years, if you go back by 5 years, what do you find? Dennis' age will be D minus 5 and K's age will be K minus 5. What's the relationship? Dennis' age was 1/4 the age of his father 5 years ago. So Dennis' age is D minus 5. This was 1/4 the age of his father. So D minus 5 equals to 1/4 of K minus 5. What is he asking us to find out? How old will his father be 5 years from now? How old will his father be 5 years from now? So basically two equations and two variables. D and K are the two variables. Can you solve for these two equations? Yes, you can. What do we have to find out? You have to find out K's age 5 years from now, which means K plus 5. Remember, K here is the present age of K. You have to find out age 5 years from now, after 5 years. So what is K plus 5 is the question. K plus 5 equals to what is the question. What is K plus 5? Alright? I'm sure most of you have realized where you have gone wrong already. But then yeah, K plus 5 is the answer. Now you can solve the two equations. Let us solve the two equations to get K plus 5. Or let me directly give you the smart method first, because that would be really very interesting. See, you have been asked what is K's age after 5 years. So clearly the options are representing K's age after 5 years. According to option 1, K's age after 5 years is 45. So can you tell me what is K's present age? 40. Right? As per option 1, K's present age should be 40. As per option 2, K's present age should be 35. According to option 3, K's present age should be 50. And according to option D, K's present age has to be 45. Are you able to follow? Since the question is what is K plus 5, the options are also representing K plus 5. K plus 5, K plus 5, K plus 5 and K plus 5. I am trying to extract what is K out of it, which is like a no-brainer, right? Minus 5, minus 5, minus 5, minus 5. So 45 will give you 40. 40 gives you 35. 55 gives you 50 and 50 gives you 45. Now, why have we done this? Why can't we simply solve the two equations to get the answer? Well, simple. Your problem is solved already. Understand guys, from the first equation, we know that K will be equal to 3D. K is equal to 3 times D. Yes or no? You don't have to write this. Just observe. K is equal to 3 into D. Right or not? K's age is 3 times D's age. So can I conclude that K should be a multiple of 3? The present age of K, which is K, has to be some multiple of 3. 3 times D, right? It is a multiple of 3. See, D's age will be an integer. Usually in these questions, some ages, the values are all integers. So D's age has to be some integer. K is equal to 3 times that integer. So can I say K's present age has to be a multiple of 3? Yes, of course, it has to be a multiple of 3. Look at the options. What is K's present age according to option A? 40. Is 40 a multiple of 3? No. Option A gets eliminated. According to option B, K's present age is 35. Is 35 a multiple of 3? No. Option B cannot be the answer. According to option C, K's present age is 50. Is 50 a multiple of 3? No. Option C cannot be the answer. According to option D, or forget about it, when A, B, C are wrong, D has to be correct. And if you go by this logic, according to option D, K's present age is 45. Is that 45 a multiple of 3? Yes. So option D is the answer. Again, I would repeat myself that explanation has taken so much of time. When you do it yourself, you know that the options are K plus 5. So K can be extracted from the options. And you know that K has to be multiple of 3. So I look at option 1. 45, which means it will give you 40. Is 40 a multiple of 3? No, eliminated. 40, so K is 35. Is 35 a multiple of 3? No, eliminated. 55, so K is 50. Is 50 a multiple of 3? No, eliminated. 50, so K is 45. Yes, 45 is a multiple of 3. Hence, D is the answer. No need to solve the equations. You don't have to solve the equations. You getting it? You don't have to solve the equations. And even if you have to solve, it's not a complex one. You will get the answer in like 30, 40, 45 seconds. But why? Why? You have to use the smartest method possible. And the smartest way to solve questions from ages is to just go by elimination. Understand the equations and use the technique of elimination to get the answers. So option D, 50 years is the correct answer. Let me quickly check how many of you have followed this. And I would also like to understand if you have used the smart method or the stupid method. Now, what is smart? Smart is what we have done here using options. What is stupid? Well, it's not stupid, but appears to be stupid when compared to the smart method, right? The stupid method is solving those two equations. So I want all of you to just write one word in the comment, smart or stupid. And let me just see how many of you have followed which method, right? So the comment that I'm looking for from all of you, whether you've got 45 or 50, your answers were wrong. Half of you have got the wrong answer actually. But then irrespective of that, what did you do? Did you use the smart method or the stupid method? Well, Jilani Sayed is the first one to respond again. He says, I'd use smart method. Just say smart or stupid. That's it. You don't have to write the whole statement there. Waiting for others to respond, right? Well, we had few more responses before I took the solution. Ankit and, Samuel, and we had Nikhil, Naresh, and these guys also had got 45, 45, 50, 45 and so on. Preeta has also used smart method, she says. So I'm glad to see that many of you have used smart method. Raghuma has also mentioned smart. So good. Looks like all of you have used the smart method. But then I don't know what answers you had got, right? Jilani and Raghuma and Preeta. See, there's nothing wrong if you accept honestly that you have used the not so smart method, right? But then up to you. I don't want you to. I don't want to force you to respond. But let's see. Anyone who has used the stupid method? No one? Are you all so smart? Then why did it take so much time? I mean, if you have used the smart method, you should have responded immediately. Naveen Kumar has also used smart. Good. Anyway, our purpose, TalentSprint's purpose eventually is to kind of help you learn the smart method and make sure that you use these methods in the exam. So glad that all of you have used the smart method. Let's quickly move to the next one. Okay. So sharing my screen again. The next question is on your screens now. Okay, let's take this one. Well, this one is from Permutations and Combinations. See what it says. There are 3 prizes to be distributed among 5 students. Now, that looks like a sitter. Anyway, let's take it up. There are 3 prizes to be distributed among 5 students. If no students get more than 1 prize, then this can be done in how many ways? 10 ways, 30 ways, 60 ways, 80 ways. You have 30 seconds for this and your time starts now. Well, Rohit Patil is the first one to acknowledge that he had used the stupid method. So I appreciate your honesty, Rohit, and I'm sure you will not use the stupid method anymore, right? Go look at our video on ages where we have solved a number of questions using this elimination technique, right? Most of the questions here can be answered using elimination. You don't have to write equations or solve them. So good, Rohit. And some of you have mentioned that I forgot to add 5. So just because you've forgotten to add 5 doesn't mean that you'll get at least half a mark there, right? Either you get the right answer or the wrong answer. And you guys have got wrong answer. Yes or no? There's no scope of committing a mistake in the exam. Either you get 1 or you get 0 or you get minus 0.25. Okay, Ritesh and Jilani have got 10 as the answer. Waiting for others to respond. 2 of you have responded already, Ritesh and Jilani. And then the next response comes from Ria Johnson, which reads 30. Okay, so confusion again. Is it 10 or 30? Nikhil has also got 10. Pawan has got 30. Would you guys explain what have you done to get the answer? How do you get 10 or 30, whatever you've got? Samuel has got 30. Samuel has got 30, yeah. And Mahesh has got 10. So this time we are stuck between option A and option B. 10 ways or 30 ways. You have to tell me what did you do to arrive at whatever you have got. 10, 30. Rahul Shauri has got 30. Rupa has got 10. Ritesh says he has done combination. So he has used combinations there. 5, C3. Looks like that's what has been done. But is it really a combination problem or a permutation problem? More responses. Looks like this would be the last question in our session today. We are already very close to 7 p.m. How did you guys get 30? 10 I can understand. I think all those who have got 10 as the answer here have used combination. So they would have done like 5, C3, right? Deepa has also got 10. Vani has got 10. And yeah, 2 more of you have mentioned that you have done 5C3. Vikram says, can I know daily timings of these classes? Well, Vikram, we do these sessions every Friday at 6 p.m. Well, this is one of the sessions that we do for public, right? But otherwise, we do about 3 live sessions for our TalentSprint students, right? For those who have enrolled for our program. So if you have enrolled for the program, you get 4 such sessions, along with thousands of learning resources, which includes videos, ebooks, practice tests, all India mock exams, etc. And if you're just trying to explore our free live sessions, then you have only 1 session per week, which is at 6 p.m. every Friday. Okay, couple of more responses. 10 is the answer from Arvind Reddy and Rohit Kaushik. So I think time now to discuss this. I do not think 10 will be the answer to this question. Let us see. And I assume all of you have done a combination here, right? Which is 5C3. But see what happens. See, it says there are 3 prizes to be distributed among 5 students. There are 3 prizes to be distributed among 5 students. If no students gets more than 1 prize, then this can be done in how many ways? There is no student who would get more than 1 prize. There is no student who will get more than 1 prize. So if a student has got 1 prize, he will not be entitled to get any more. So in how many ways can this be done? Now, in my view, there are 3 prizes, let's say P1, P2 and P3. And there are like 5 students, S1, S2. You don't have to do this in the exam, but just for the sake of explanation, right? Now the first prize, P1 here, can be given in how many ways? P1 can be given to S1 or S2 or S3 or S4 or S5. This can be done in 5 ways. So P1 is distributed. In how many ways? 5 ways. Let's say S3 has got the prize P1. S3 has got P1. So what happens? S3 is closed now. The next prize cannot be given to S3 again. So for the next prize, we have got only 4 choices, right? S1 or S2 or S4 or S5. So the next prize can be given in 4 ways. P2, right? It can either go to S1 or S2 or S4 or S5. Let's say S5 gets P2, the second prize. So S5 also is out of the game now, right? Now only 3 more persons are left, S1, S2 and S4. And one of these 3 will get the third prize P3. So the third prize P3 can be given in how many ways? 3 ways. Now one action can be done in M ways, the other action can be done in N ways, then both the actions together can be done in how many ways? M into N ways. Here there are 3 different actions, each one of them can be done in a different number of ways. So if all 3 have to be done together, what do? Principle of multiplication, 5 into 4 into 3, so which is 60. So in my view, these 3 prizes can be distributed among 5 students in 60 ways. You getting it? 3 prizes here can be distributed among 5 students in 60 ways. The first one can be given in 5 ways, the second one can be given in 4 ways, and the third one can be given in 3 ways. Right? Are you able to follow? 60 would be the answer. So I am surprised that none of it got 60, right? I think many of you have got 10 ways as the answer, which is option A, and then there were a few who said 30 should be the answer, option B. But the correct answer is 60 ways. And with this, we come to the end of this session. I hope all of you have followed this, right? Well, I wish I could solve more questions, but we have very limited time, right? 1 hour of time just passed by. But then don't worry. Like I said, like there are like 700 plus videos all available at one place for you to access 24/7 anytime, anywhere, right? You can use your computer or tablet or mobile phone or a laptop to access our content, right? Which includes these videos, lots of ebooks, practice papers, right? Company based papers, and then we have a weekly all India mock exam where you are set to compete with tens of thousands of students across the country who are taking this exam over a Saturday and Sunday, right? And then you get real insights and analytics, personalized recommendations from our new colleague called Tia, right? Tia is our artificial intelligence bot, or a bot which runs on artificial intelligence. And what Tia does is, takes the performance of all these thousands of students who have taken that exam and gives them personalized recommendations and learning plans, right? So if let's say Mahesh has taken the exam, and all of you have let's say taken the exam, each one of you will get a report by from Tia. When do you get this? On a Monday morning, right? 11 a.m. And each one of your report would be different, right? I mean, Tia will ask Mahesh to prepare on, let's say, time and work and time and distance, whereas Rupa there will get suggestions from Tia on, let's say, permutations and combinations and probability, right? Or for that matter, coding and decoding and reasoning, right? So it will give you, it will help you identify your strengths and your weaknesses in comparison with all those students who have taken the exam across the country, right? And not just that, like a lot of other insights which can be very, very useful in your preparation for such exams. Remember, just taking practice tests is not going to help you, right? With every mock exam that you take, you have to sit back and analyze how did you perform there, right? And what could have been better. And Tia helps you close that gap, right? Tia gives you that feedback and helps you identify your strengths, your weaknesses, and areas of improvement. Okay, and not just at topic level, it will give you areas of improvement at question level. It says in time and distance, while you are able to solve questions on average speed, there is some problem in the questions that are coming from relative speed. So you must work on your relative speed concept. And here is the video that you should watch to understand that concept. So I'm sure Tia is proven to be very, very helpful to all those who are taking our all India mock exams, and I'm sure it will help you as well. And you can also get access to Tia. Just visit our website talentsprint.com/IT to look at all that we have got for you in our programs for your IT Jobs Aptitude Test preparation. Okay, I hope all of you have enjoyed this session. Please share your valuable feedback and do join us with your friends in our next session, which is going to be held at the same time, same day next week, right? Friday, 6 p.m. Until then, keep practicing and take very good care of yourselves. See you all. Hello everyone, good morning and welcome to this live session on how to score more in quantitative aptitude, brought to you by TalentSprint. I hope all of you are healthy, and so is your preparation for the upcoming exams that you're planning to take, right? The IT Jobs Aptitude Test. And today's session, as you all know, is on how do we improvise our score or boost our score in the section of quantitative aptitude.
Everyone, welcome to today's live session. In today's session, we are going to discuss about the units of storage in computer system. As you know, computer systems stores the digits and the alphabets that we type through the keyboard in bits and bytes. That is a computer's language of storing everything and accessing everything. Also, they interpret everything